All right. Oh, there he is. We got Mr. John Najarian. Dr. J,
Hey,
how are you, sir?
I'm doing extremely well. Thank you.
We built that, me and the AI and my artist, very much with you in mind, sir. That intro, because we're going to be hitting, we're going to be hitting all kinds of stuff here. What do you think about this so far? Pretty fun to be able to just set up shop at SIBO.
Oh, yeah. I mean, SIBO Global Markets, I love shooting there because it's one of the few places people actually exchange, trade on the floor rather than in a data center. So, I'm not trying to throw shade at the folks that do just, high frequency trading in a data center, New York Stock Exchange,
No, I know.
NASDAQ. But
That's
it's
literally
great
my brother.
open outside.
That's what my brother does. And when I told him Chicago Future Finance, he's like, come on, man, what are you talking about? You got to branch it out. You got to include New York. I'm like, hey, the exchange, as much as I love the exchange, it sounds like a casino a little bit, scraping
Yeah.
pennies.
It's nice to see.
We're going to do something that I
many-
feel like is required when you're talking about modern trading, which is branching it out. That's why I'm grateful for you to be here, because I think you and your brother have obviously been pioneers of options trading, but you guys are athletes. Tell me I'm wrong here, John. I know you're gambling in the sports world too.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've already put down bets for the Super Bowl. I've already put down bets for the college football playoffs and so forth. I think those are the exciting bets right now. Anything politics related, they're a little bit interesting. Jay Powell, he's interesting because I think his hand is going to be forced here in September.
I'm looking at Kalshi. What we're going to do is we're going to use Kalshi and or Polymarket to try and find ideas. I'll be honest, I haven't done a lot of trading on these yet. I have watched, I've looked, I'm going to. I might actually start just putting trades on here for some fun stuff. I kind of gravitate towards, I feel like, a little culture edge. But let's start with the markets. I feel like your edge is, you know the sports. You're going to help me out. You guys are going to help me learn the sports betting. But let's start with the simple stuff. To your point, Pal, I think this is interesting, is right now on Kalshi, Fed decision in September, cut is 71%. But if I go to CME futures, it's a lot closer to like 85 and 90. So that's where I'm feeling like maybe there's something to be said there, because that's a pretty big spread. If you've got like a 15 percentage point spread between what the market's saying and what Kalshi's saying, what do you think about that, Dr. J?
Well, I pay attention to the market. I mean, in both cases, however, people are putting money on the line. And that makes a big difference over just saying my opinion is this or my opinion is that. The reason I like the CME tool for figuring out exactly what the Fed is going to do next is you're talking hundreds of billions of dollars. Look at these. I mean, I love Kalshi. I love Polymarket in terms of the way they express it and make it easy for folks to understand. But, most of these are approaching, the millions of dollars on bets. They're not in the billions of dollars. So if you ask me who I want to follow, I'm always a follow the smart money guy. So I'd say the likelihood is closer to 85 than it is to 71%.
I see. So you're going, which I respect. Right now, the volume 157 mil on here. So, I mean, price, right? For price and value to meet, it's most likely to happen in a deep liquid market. That's your point.
Yeah. And the men and women who are trading, treasuries and so forth, that's a $1 trillion market. So when you see, what those bets are over the short term and long term, I think those are the guys you do not want to fade. They're not always right, but, the other folks are great people, but they're complete amateurs. If I was an ARB guy, I would be selling on the one and buying on the other. And
that's fair.
In fact, what I've done. Some people could call it arbitrage. That's more or less the way I look at it, because you're talking about the same question. Are we going to see a 25 basis point cut or a 50 basis point cut or nothing? And I'm favoring the 25 basis point cut by a lot.
Okay. So let's talk about the reasoning behind it for a second. I mean, obviously the market thinks it's going to happen. I've kind of argued for a while. It is, at least in the spring, before it got even more complicated politically and before some of the last inflation prints, I just feel that generally you probably have room to bring down the real rate a little bit. It's like I don't think you really need people keep talking about the inflation figures, but you gotta pull it back to see where we came from. I mean, it's significantly changed since the Fed hiked as much as they did. So why not continue to kind of loosen it up? By the way, John, I'd also say that I've kind of moved away from the view that I once had that if risk assets are booming and all that, that you can't cut rates. I mean, just because something good's happened doesn't mean it can't get better necessarily. Not to like pump it up much here, but
Yeah, and in this case, it really is political. It's political because the president of the United States is pounding the table for either Powell to quit or cut rates. He will be either forced out or he will leave of his own volition at some point here, because he's only in till May of next year anyway. But he made it political as well when he said openly that the only reason that we haven't cut yet is the tariffs. Well, that means it's political to me, because.
And by the way, John, I think kind of wrong too. To be honest, I find the risk of inflation is to be, or of tariffs is to be deflationary rather than inflationary. So I think his logic is kind of wrong too.
Right, and other Fed members are saying the same thing. So he's going to have a split Fed in September, even after this kumbaya moment in Jackson Hole this week. He's going to have a split Fed. He's going to try to herd him in his direction. But if he tries to hold him back, there'll be a mutiny this time. And that's why I think we're seeing that 80% number, 85% over at the other tool that follows this bet.
Fair take. I guess the one argument is that just the tariffs introduce uncertainty, so Powell doesn't want to. But hey, let's make sure we hit some sports in here too, because I promised some people that this is going to be the show where, Max, you're going to hear Fed talk for a couple minutes. But I like it in this context because we're looking at it versus the odds and the comparison of the two markets. How are people betting on the Super Bowl winners right now, John? Take me through that logic.
Well, sure. The Super Bowl bets right now are stacked up pretty heavily on the usual suspects. They are stacked up still on the Philadelphia Eagles, Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo's at 13%.
Yeah, and Buffalo, granted, this is the preseason, but Buffalo got absolutely destroyed by the Chicago Bears, 38-0.
Yeah,
is that something we expect?
No Bears in here, and we just smoked them, right?
No, we're unlikely to see the Bears, quite frankly, in there. But I do like the idea that we finally have a much better, solid quarterback and so forth. But the bets right now are Buffalo, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Kansas City, Detroit. Those are the top five. And but Buffalo is more than twice favored over the likes of Detroit, but they could be a sleeper in this group of five.
Aren't Lions fans so persistent though that they're always just going to have a market for themselves, just putting big money on hopes? I don't know, maybe.
I think so. But the one I really find interesting too is the college football, because college football, you've got Texas, and they are basically favored by a lot. Texas, Penn State, Ohio State. That's the order, the top three right now. And obviously, first game of the season for the big games is Texas at Ohio State. So I think a lot of money is going to change hands on this game. And obviously, it won't declare who the winner is of the football championship. But it certainly, if Texas can win on the road in the Horseshoe in Ohio State, they will be favored throughout the year.
All right, I'm looking at this now. I see August 23rd. Fresno State, that's my pop's alma mater, only trading at 20 cents versus Kansas. So hopes and dreams, speaking of. You're the man, John. Thanks for being here day one. We're going to see you, your brother tomorrow. Appreciate it, John.
Thank you very much, Ant. Be well, all.